Hello and welcome back to another housing video for Final Fantasy XIV. We're finally able to look at patch 7.05's additions to housing. There was quite a few. We've just finished off the videos looking at all of the 7.0 stuff. It's taken me quite a while to collect some of it. So let's start this one off then with some new housing merchant items that were added in 7.05, and then we'll get to some of the more taxing things later on. So housing merchants, obviously in any of the housing districts, such as in the Mist here, we've got the Seagaze markets, the housing merchant over here. We're going to be looking at some Phasmascapes today, which as you can see have their own section here, purchase furnishings Phasmascapes, so it's got its own thing now. And if we tick show only recently added items, you'll find that there are some brand new items added. In fact, we're looking at 5 of them specifically today. So we've got the Shirogane Phasmascape, the Imperium Phasmascape, Goblet, Lavender Beds, and Mist. So we're going to look at these together. They're 10,000 gil each, so let's buy all of these. Alrighty, here we are in my FC basement. So let's have a look at these Phasmascapes together. So we've got obviously the Mist one here. What did he say on them? This advanced Magitech contraption displays the community of mist and a stunning stretch of coastline it sits atop. It says something similar with the Lavender Beds one. Picturesque cluster of hillside houses on the Lavender Beds. Goblet in all its splendor. Ornate pointed spires that punctuate the Empyrean skyline. And Shirogane says vibrant roofs and tree-topped outcrops of Shirogane. So I think the main reason for these to exist is so that you can create windows, right? So a lot of people have been creating similar to the door frames, but there's window frames as well, like the half cutouts and stuff like that, to basically give the idea that there are windows that actually look outwards in their property. Because as you know, property houses, you know, any housing in this game doesn't have working windows, right? We have frames that let light in or out. So a lot of people are using false partitions with holes in them and then frames and putting these at a distance to make it look like, you know, that was actually a window going out there, that kind of thing, basically. But yeah, so I think the main reason for you to want to get these specifically would probably be because you live somewhere perhaps that you don't want to live, or perhaps you want to give the illusion of being able to see outside of your house. Like, it would be nice to have this view specifically, but it would be cool if you could like click an interact button to switch a slide, you know what I mean? Like click here or click here to have like a set of different positions from like different positions in the area. I think that's something they should look at, because a forced perspective like this is great, but you might want a different view of the beach. So if they're going to take up the Mist Phasmascape by this one shot, it would be cool if you had a few selections. Just a little bit of feedback. I don't know if that's even physically possible. Obviously, that's something I would have to ask, you know, at some point when there's no serious questions needing to be asked in the future. But so that's the Mist one. Then we have the Lavender Beds one, which, as you can see, looks pretty great as well. I mean, these are really good quality because you're supposed to see them from a distance. You're not supposed to be up this close and personal anyway. So you can imagine if you'd created some partitions with holes in them, maybe, you know, change the lighting. That's another thing as well, is there's quite a nice glow from these. We'll look at that in a second. Then we've got the Goblet one, which obviously I'm not a fan of the Goblet personally, but there are some people who love the Goblet more than anything. And it's definitely had an overhaul since the old Goblet. I mean, you've got like the swimming pools, as I call them, the oases, that you can actually swim in and chill out with your friends, which is nice. It's not as bad as it used to be, but it's still, I like beachfront property personally. Then we got the Empyrean, which looks like that. Obviously a little bit of Ishgard. I think a lot of people would like that. But yeah, I mean, there are two ways, aren't there? You can use partitions to make them look like windows, or you could create some kind of surveillance system. That's something else that you could do. I kind of want I want Square Enix to implement Phasmascapes, but mini Phasmascapes. So you could have multiples of these in an area, right, that are small, and then create like frames around them to make them look like you're watching a CCTV system or something. That could be really cool. just an idea. Again, there's so many ideas that people have with housing. It'd be nice to see what the future looks like for it. And then we got Shirogane, which is still probably my favorite housing zone in the game. In terms of like lighting then, as I'm stuck inside there we go, that's better. Let's turn the housing lights off so you can get a good idea of what those look like in terms of glow. So let's fall through the stage again. Yeah, pretty cool, actually, pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know, what do you use these for? I know a lot of people use them to create the, you know, illusion that there's an outside world outside of window frames and stuff like that, but I don't know. I still haven't really figured out a use for them. Like I say, if there was miniaturized versions of these, I'd probably be a lot happier. It is really cool that they exist though, and I'm always happy to see more added. And it's a long time coming since we've actually had ones relating to the housing zones, because it does make sense to have maybe, you know, pretend that you're looking out of a window to look at your own housing zone. But I do think my idea of having a functional switch to change perspective, like maybe have like 3 or 4 images to choose from, would be cool. Rather than, you know, in the future they'd if they wanted to do a mist again, they'd have to call it Mist 2. It'd be annoying, wouldn't it? It'd be really annoying. But yeah, let me know what you think about these. Personally, I think they're pretty great, and of course you can use them as partitions if you must, which people do, right? People have actually flipped these round and used them as all sorts of things. But yeah, very cool stuff. Anyway, that's just one of the first items. There's quite a few actually to look at from 7.05. I just thought we'd start with stuff from a vendor. Anyway, let me know what you think. If you've used any of these, please let me know how you use your Phasmascapes and what you would like to see next as a Phasmascape. Personally, I would love to see more ceiling ones, because we had the starry scene and the sunset, which are beautiful. I would like to see some others, maybe some like galaxies, or, you know, maybe some more Phasmascapes like this, but with completely different places we've never been before, like some abstract stuff, maybe some artwork, and maybe a little bit more animation or something. Anyway, have a good day, and I'll see you all next time. Oh boy.